Hey everybody, it's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel. There are tons of estate sales and garage sales today, so we're gonna go hit them up and hopefully bring home a lot of goodies and treasures. Let's go get it.
Okay, this is pretty cool. Make an offer or fill a bag for $1. And I like this right here. This is an underground feeder cable for 25 feet. And these types of things will sell for about $30. So if you could pick it up for $1, which I will, that's a great deal. So I'm gonna get this. Here's Diary of the Wimpy Kid hardcover for $1.50, but I will wind up getting her down to $1 for it. Great condition. Definitely pick this up. Add it to the lot. I just found this at another sale, so I was telling you to make sure you pick these up. These citywide playmats for just $2. It is definitely a good purchase. These sell for between $70 and $100 online. Worst case like $50. So if you ever see anything that's Billy the Kid, pick it up, especially if it's vintage. This is from 1974, 50 cents, and it goes for about $25. There's not one currently up. Continuing with the Western theme, this is a really good one for $1. Anything that has kind of this rodeo print on it. And you can see it here on the back too, so it's double-sided. There's no comps for it, but it'll definitely go. Anything with horses, rodeo, kind of that Western motif, front and back, button down, $1. Can't miss on that. Here we go, rummage and trunk sale. So, bunch of stuff here. We will see if we can find anything good. That's a nice sign. Chalkboard right there.
I bought it at the Bachville Antiques.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Years ago.
All right, well this is definitely the find of the day for sure. I did purchase it for $15, the asking price. I tried to see if she'd do 10, but she didn't, and for good reason. This is worth a lot of money. She bought this at the Madison Bachville Antique Show last year, and that place is expensive in general. Shouldn't tell me exactly how much she paid, but I can tell you that there's only one available right now on eBay for $189, and it has 6 watchers. So I definitely think this will sell. Good that I got it for a low price, and excited to put this one up. Really nice. It's got that chalkboard right there that someone's gonna buy that for a restaurant or something like that. It's really, really cool piece. If you want to just see the side of it and the back.
All right, everyone. Well, change of plans. I was supposed to go to some estate sales today, but what wound up happening is that while I am at the end of the community garage sale, I wind up getting a text message from somebody who I deal with at the flea market. I've been buying vintage stuff from him for a while. A couple of months back, I did a video where I purchased a small comic collection, about 2 boxes worth or so. I bought them from this gentleman. What he does is he purchases estates, and that's how he obtains all of these items, and then he just goes to try to flip them to people, who are interested. And so I let him know after I bought those last box of comics, hey, if you find any more comic collections, please give me a call. I gave my number. The next week or 2 weeks later, I saw him, and I was just kind of joking around, kind of halfway joking, said, hey, did you find any more comic books? And he said, actually, I did. I found a ton of them. So I said, really? I said, where are they? He's like, they're in my house. He's like, I need to make room. So if you're interested, let me know. We can make a time. So we had a time set for tomorrow, Sunday at 2 o'clock. So he texted me and he asked me today, so are you coming out today to look at the comic books? And I said, what are you talking about? We said that it was going to be tomorrow. So I showed him the message that showed that, and he said, oh yeah, you're right. So he goes, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So I said, all right, well, does tomorrow still work at 2? He goes, yeah. He goes, but I'll probably bring a few boxes over to the flea market. And I said, oh, great. If he does that, and he doesn't know anything about comic books, but he might randomly pick a couple of boxes that have some really great things in them, and then they're going to be gone. They're going to be sold to somebody else. So I said, all right, let me see if I could rearrange my schedule today. So I rearranged my schedule. I said, are you available in a couple hours? He said, yep. I got home, I changed, got something to drink, got something to eat. I'm all set. I'm about 5 minutes away. I don't think I'll be able to turn the camera on in there, although if I can, I will. It'll be me and him one-on-one negotiating. He's a good negotiator. He's been doing this for a long time, as have I. He's about 20 years older than me, 15 years older than me. So we've both been doing this for a while, and we both, know how to go back and forth a little bit. But we've always, generally always been able to make a deal. So, but this is going to be the biggest one for sure. So I'll let you know when this is over, if I was able to make a deal or not, and if not, I'll tell you why not, and if so, I'll definitely be happy to show you what I found.
Okay, I'm inside the shed area, and this is the collection actually. I'm gonna open the first box here, take a look, and this is a good sign because this is an older book from the 1980s, Iceman #1, and we'll see what else is in here. Incredible Hulk, Infinity War. So there's more comic books back here that we have to dig out. It's crazy. Pulled even more of them out, and this is the amount. It's absolutely crazy.
All right, well, we just made the deal. I was only able to show you a small sample of the collection. I will show you more of it later on. In fact, I'm driving back to his place now because after we made the deal, I had to go over to the ATM to get the cash that was needed to make the transaction. I purposely didn't bring a large amount of cash with me. One, because I wasn't sure we were going to be able to make a deal. And two, I wanted to see if I could make the deal with the amount of cash that I had on hand. Now, in terms of how many comics there are, well, there's 10 long boxes. They're not all bagged and boarded, and there's 5 short boxes. Now, there's approximately about 280 to 400 comic books in a long box. Depends on how many of them are bagged and boarded. I spot checked one of them and counted 285. So on a conservative end, because there were a bunch that were bagged and boarded in there, but again, there are others where none were bagged and boarded. So conservatively, that's 2,850 comic books just there. Then I spot checked one of the short boxes that had bags and boards in, and there were about 165 in there. So total, that winds up on a conservative end to be about 3,665 comic books or something like that. But there could be well more than that. There could be 4,000, 4,500. It's tough to say. I like to be conservative. There'll be some in there that are damaged that I can't use, so you have to factor that into it as well. So turns out when it was time to make the deal, I knew we'd make a deal. I was pretty sure we'd make a deal just based on our past interactions, but I knew it wouldn't be super easy getting there. Again, just based on prior experiences in negotiating with him. So I asked him how much he wanted for all of them, and he wasn't biting. And so he said, "What's your offer?" So at that point, again, this was strategically why I did not bring a lot of extra cash with me. So I had a total of $289 in my wallet, and I said to him, well, we could just do the empty my wallet offer, so I've got $289 here, would you do it for that? Now, this guy does not know a lot about comic books, but he knows how to count, and he knows how to estimate. He's been doing this for a long time, even though he doesn't specialize in comics. He knows how to count inventory, and he was pretty good with knowing that there were more than 2,000 comic books there, and he kind of estimated ultimately that there were around 3,500. Again, there's probably more than that, but he was not going to do it for $289. And he said to me, well, that's about a penny a comic. I said, no. If there were 3,000, getting it for 300 would be about 10 cents a comic. Now, where you're trying to be is between 10 and 20 cents. You'd like to be, if you can, below 10 cents. That's very hard to do, but 10 to 15 cents would be ideal, but anywhere below 20 cents a comic is good for a collection like that. So he told me that he would do it for 600. So he's going double of where I was, more than double, because I was at 289. So I said to him, now honestly, if you do the calculations, 600 would honestly not be a bad deal. That would be around 16 cents a comic on the conservative end. So that would not be a bad deal, but I'm not going to jump at that, just like he's not going to jump at the 289. You know, see, this is the game that gets played back and forth. It's kind of fun doing it, but you know, that's just part of the process. So then I tried the meet in the middle technique, but he's too savvy for that. But I said, anyway, how about we meet in the middle? You're at 600, I'm at 300. Let's meet at 450. Wouldn't do it. Then he threw out, he would do it for 550 if I went and got the extra cash. I told him no. Then he walked away, said 525, they're yours. I stayed there for a while, looked it over, he gave me some space, and this is just kind of how it works. I came back out, I said, how about this? 500, and anytime you come across a comic collection again in the state, you call me, I'm there, I'll get it at the location. He said, you know what, deal, you're my comic guy from now on. I said, great. So if you factor it out on a conservative end, that number of 500 for many comic books are there, again, conservatively is about 12.5 cents. Now, I think really, once I do a final count, that I wound up getting them for about 10 cents an issue, which is just where, you know, that's a great place. That's, you know, you're going to make a good profit at that point if you get it for that low. It's going to take some time to get the money back, but I will get it back. I have bought collections approximately this size before, so it'll take a few months to do, but I'll get it back, and then afterwards it'll all be profit. So you have to be patient with this type of thing, and you have to know what you're looking for. There are lots of great issues there. There's Deadpool, there's amazing Spider-Man issues, there's a lot of books from the 1980s and 1970s, nothing much earlier than that, but there are enough great titles there that I know that I could do well with the collection. So a little later on, I'll show it to you when it's packed into my vehicle, and I'll go through a couple boxes with you and show you, you know, just now when I get them in the comfort, you know, of my own, you know, my own business area, then I could show you more some of the stuff that's there rather than trying to do it in a hot and stuffy barn, which is basically where these things were.
All right, so I have got the boxes back and situated in Primetime Treasure headquarters. This is what about 4,000 comic books looks like. You could see here I've got them all stacked up. They'll be safe that way. They're in the garage for now. The boxes are really in bad condition on the outside, which it can be a warning sign that there could be problems inside. That's why you have to inspect them closely. But fortunately, a lot of these are in bags and boards, and even the ones that aren't in bags and boards, you know, like something like this, which is a more modern comic, you know, they still are in good shape. So even though it looks like there's like a bunch of water damage on the outside of them, you know, when you open up inside, they're really in nice condition for some reason, somehow. You know, I was pleasantly surprised to see that. That was one of my concerns when I initially looked at it. Okay, so if you ever come across a comic book collection of this size and magnitude, one of the things that you definitely have to do, especially if you're trying to get them for about 10 to 20 cents a piece, is you need to come up with an estimate of how many are there, and that could be very overwhelming. The amount that fits in these boxes depends on the size of the box and whether or not they have bags and boards on them. So this is considered a short box. This one here is considered a long box. So for the long box, if they have bags and boards on them, they're gonna fit around 250 to 275. When I say bags and boards, I mean like this. They have a plastic covering on the outside and they have a board to protect it on the back, which adds thickness. But sometimes you will come across boxes that don't have bags and boards, like this one. So no bag, no board. If you had a long box with no bags and boards, that's gonna fit about 400 comic books. But sometimes you're gonna get boxes that have a mixture of ones that are bagged and boarded and ones that are not bagged and boarded. So what do you do in that situation? Well, in that situation, you just have to do a count. You have to go through and you have to do a count. And then you have to estimate based off that and be conservative and multiply by the number of boxes that you got. So I wound up taking a box there that was kind of half bagged and boarded and half not. And I came to 285, yet I know there's other ones in there that there's more, but I just used the 285 as my estimate because I know I have to account for that there's gonna be some books in there that have damage in them. For the shorter boxes, if they're all bagged and boarded, it's gonna fit about 140 in there, sometimes a little more. If they are not, you could definitely get around, 200 or so in there. So it just depends. Again, you just have to make an estimate. So when I did an estimate on these, I was conservative and got to 165 because there were a mix of ones that were bagged and not bagged and boarded and ones that were not. So that's how you have to do that, and then you just multiply, and then it's just a numbers game, and you have to come up with a number based on the number of books that you have that would get you to about that 10 to 15 cents per issue. Now for this to work and be an effective business model, few things. One, you're gonna have to be patient and piece this stuff out over time. Two, you're gonna have to recognize that there's books in there that have value. So I obviously cannot go through this enormous collection with you right now. Frankly, I haven't even gone through it all. I've just seen enough to know that this will be a very good and profitable purchase. There's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of comic books in here. Just to show you some things, like in this first box that I just cracked open this morning, I put a picture of it, of some of the books at my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. Many of you are a member of that. But just as an example, in terms of some of the things that I'm finding in here, I'll actually turn the camera off and just flip it through more directly so you could see it a little closer. So I'll just show you, a little bit in one of these boxes because there's just so much stuff. But I opened this morning just to take a quick peek of what was in here. And I only saw a couple of things that were in here yesterday. So like, for example, I did know that there was Deadpool in here. So like this set right here, Deadpool Circle Chase. That set goes for around $50 to $60. That's just for 4 comics. So, you could see how these things add up pretty quick when you start, talking about those kind of numbers. There's some old comic books in here, like some 12-cent issues, which I was really happy to see. I did not know there were any of those there yesterday when I picked it up. But, those are from the 1960s. The oldest price for a comic book would be 10 cents. So when you get into 12 cents, 10-cent issues, especially when you're starting to deal with famous superhero characters like Superman or Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, which is less popular, obviously, than Superman, but it has Superman in it. You're dealing with some, the collection is legit. Same here, you got Godzilla, King of Monsters #2 from, 1977. And just what an awesome cover that is. I mean, every guy would love that, myself included. Godzilla just picking up, something from the city and just munching on it like it's a hamburger. That's just so cool. And there's other Godzillas in here. Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's another very, very popular series. So it's a 12-parter. The Infinity Gauntlet #1. These things are, pricey if you've got them in great condition. And these are in great condition. Another thing I was excited to see was there's a lot of Venom and Carnage books. So this is really a nice mixture of old and modern books. Venom and Carnage are 2 of the most popular characters from the Superman series. Anything with Venom and Carnage on it is gonna go for good money. If you have them combined together, that's even better. The Venom movie comes out in October, so I might hold on some of this until then. But look at this, Carnage #1, It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, it's just incredible. I'm really, really happy. And there's multiples of some of these things. Like, he had multiple copies of some of these issues. So like, here you go again. Infinity Gauntlet #1. There's another first issue of it. So a bunch of Spawn comics are very popular, especially some of these early issues, which introduce some of the key characters. You could just sell some of these individually for like $20, $30. So it adds up when you start doing stuff like that. Another thing I was really happy to see in here, here's some trade paperbacks, Spawn, Batman. I've sold that before, something like that might sell for like $10. Here's another first issue of Godzilla. That's from Dark Horse Comics, which is very popular. Batman and Spawn together. I'm really happy to see that. This is really cool. I was blown away when I saw this morning. Amazing Spider-Man number 48. I mean, that is incredible. That is super, super old. Very, very happy to see that. The Vulture's on the cover. I mean, I'm just amazed that stuff's in here. And there's some other old Amazing Spider-Mans. I mean, we've got Amazing Spider-Man 164, 165, and some of these have multiple issues inside of them, and you have to open them up to see what's in there. Got some old Avengers, 20-cent issues here. Some king-size annuals. I mean, this is just crazy. And don't, just ignore those prices on there. This is something that someone bought a long, long time ago at a discount. They're worth way more than that, trust me. A lot of Batmans in here. So, overall, just really happy. I think here we go again, another first issue of Crisis of Infinite Earths. So if you know comic books and you're looking at this, you're probably like, oh my God, I can't believe this stuff. Here's some more old Godzilla King of Monsters, more Godzilla King of Monsters, more. I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, there's just so much good stuff in here. I'm real excited. Some more old Amazing Spider-Mans. There's issue 145. And this is what I mean about some of them have double issues. So you could see in there's 2 issues. I opened that up before. There's 145 and 146 in there. Here's issue 132. And some of these are going to be key issues where they're going to be pretty valuable. You can see here there's multiples in here. So I'm excited to really just go through it, process it. 104. So overall, just really, really happy with some of the stuff in here. In addition, I think I saw, here we go here, Carnage, part 1. So that's 361, and there's multiple issues of that. So just crazy. So one of the other ones that I found in that box I was just showing you, I saw this yesterday when I was there. I really love books like this. These are these little pocket books. This one here, this is a number 1 issue. This was made in 1978. It'll go for around $20 on eBay. So, it adds up pretty fast. You just look inside. I mean, it's really nice condition. People love Batman. They love, Superman's on the covers, Lex Luthor, it's a number 1 issue. So, these kind of things are pretty popular. So, it adds up fast, $20 here, $50 there with just a few books, and there's thousands of books there. You could see how, taking your time to piece through a collection like this could be very profitable, but a lot of people avoid it because it does take a bunch of time. But the time is worth it, especially if you like it and you know what you're doing with these books. So just to kind of introduce you to that, if you are not used to picking up big comic book collections or what that's all about and why people do it, I hope this gives you a little bit of an understanding of it and how the whole process went down, from negotiation to purchase to starting to look through this and process it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot of things that wound up happening during this period of time that I did this video. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you drop a comment down below if there's a question or anything like that. You can monitor my eBay store as you see me put comics from this collection and others up. If you'd like to make an offer on anything, just let me know and tell me you're part of the group, and I could see if I could work in a discount or something like that. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That's important, helps build up the credibility of the channel the more and more subscribers there are. So we're over 600, trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. So if you help me do that, I'd appreciate it. And again, speaking of my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, the link to that is down below. If you'd like to join, I'd love to have you there. We're over 1,100 members there, so it's growing like crazy. It's a great group, very positive, very informative. Come on over. I think you'll have a great time.